Hi, my name's Matthew Borson, and I'm the managing partner at Straight Path Wealth Management. What if I told you that waiting even a couple years to do financial planning could cost you tens of thousands of dollars? It's true, and it's because timing is critical. The earlier you start, the better. And there's a lot of reasons why. Things like compounding, avoiding missed opportunities, and allowing you to be proactive with your planning as opposed to reactive are all really important things that I want to dive into over the next couple minutes and talk about each one. First, time is your greatest asset. Even if you're in your 50s or 60s and feel like you're behind the 8 ball, you're still okay. Starting now, starting early, starting today versus waiting till tomorrow is still really important, can make a huge difference. The main reason behind that is a principle called compounding, one of the most powerful principles in finance. And the idea behind compounding is that when you invest money, you earn interest. But then over the next period, not only are you earning interest on your initial investment, but you're also earning interest on interest. You go to the third period, and now you're earning interest upon interest upon interest. And maybe that sounds like a big deal, maybe it doesn't to you. But when we look at the math behind it, we look at the compounding over a long period of time, the results really start to pile up. So let's look at an example to better understand the impact of compounding and the impact of timing in starting now. Let's look at two different investors. We'll call the first one John. And John started investing at age 25. Maria waited 15 years longer, and instead of starting at 25, she started at age 40. John invests $500 a month, he gets a reasonable 8% return, and by the time he's 65, he actually has over $1.7 million saved. Maria, starting 15 years later, saves the same amount of money, $500 a month, earns the same investment return, 8%, but when she's 65, she only has $480,000. So despite starting at 40 instead of 25, only a 15-year difference, she ends up with less than a third of the money that John did since he started at age 25. In addition to compounding, there's other benefits that you'll realize by starting your financial planning journey earlier rather than later. One of those is that you have increased flexibility later on in life. You might have the opportunity to retire earlier. You might have the opportunity to give a bigger legacy, to give more to charity. And you'll feel less constrained as you get closer and closer to retirement because the pressure will be off on your savings and your investments will be working for you. They'll be big enough where the growth of those investments are going to be the main power pushing you towards retirement. Also, by starting earlier, you're going to have a higher risk tolerance typically. This means that you can take a little bit more risk in your account, and from a basic principle of finance, the more risk you can take, the more volatility you're willing to accept, the more return you can typically expect. So having a higher risk tolerance typically results in a little bit higher return for your investments, making compounding even more powerful. Also, by starting earlier, you avoid missed opportunities. And those missed opportunities have a long list of things, but a couple of them are inflation. Inflation can really erode the purchasing power of your earnings and even the money just sitting in banks. Making sure that you do the right planning to alleviate the impact of inflation, make sure that you're on the right side of inflation, making sure that your investments are earning more than inflation are all really important things to make sure that you're on the right path. Also, there's tax advantages that if you don't start early, you may miss some of those opportunities. The tax advantages for saving for retirement specifically all come with annual caps. There's a maximum that you can do each year. By starting earlier, you'll be able to have more years where you can take advantage of those taxes, ultimately saving you a lot of money long term. Also, we get a question about market timing. Is now a good time to invest, or should I wait till later? The market seems like it's at a high right now, for instance. Maybe I should wait another 1 or 2 or 3 years until the market drops. Research is unanimous in this fact that you should start investing now. Even if the market seems high, or even if the market has done well over the last couple years, now is still a good time to invest. By and large, the market goes up. And even if we're at a market high today, we know that there'll be a new market high at some point in the future. Making sure that you invest now versus later still has a big impact, even if the market seems to be a little high. Another benefit of starting your financial planning journey early is that it allows you to be proactive instead of reactive. There's a lot of things that you get to be proactive about when you start early. One of them is tax planning. You get to look at things like Roth conversions, better tax deferral, even things like asset location, making sure you're investing with the right type of investments and the right type of accounts. It also allows you to be proactive around market volatility instead of reactive. When the market's dropping, you don't have to be nervous about what's going on in the market. Instead, you can see it as an opportunity where you can put more money into the market, invest more aggressively, and get a higher return. It allows us to better plan around income withdrawals in retirement, making sure that your accounts are set up correctly where we're able to blend the right types of withdrawals from the right type of accounts to minimize your taxes in retirement. Starting financial planning early also allows you to be proactive around estate and legacy planning. It also allows you to be proactive around things like healthcare planning. People don't think about healthcare until they're actually ready to retire, maybe a couple months before retirement. But instead, that process needs to start, maybe 5, 6, 7 years before, making sure that you've got the right budget in mind, you're going to go to the right place, and you're looking at all of your options appropriately. So these are just some of the reasons why starting early is important. Starting today is important versus waiting for next month or next year. And so if you're ready to get started, we want you to reach out to someone from our team. Someone from our team will schedule a 15-minute free assessment call with you to look at where you're at, to figure out if you're on the right path or not, and the changes that may need to happen to make sure that you'll be successful and that you'll reach your financial planning goals. So please reach out to someone from our team, schedule that 15-minute assessment. We'd love to meet with you and make sure that you're on the right path.